So I just came back from the gym and I had this idea to talk about beauty standards. This video, I'll talk about female beauty standards, and the next video, I'll talk about male beauty standards. And just being in the gym and working out and trying to improve my body and things like that, strength wise and looks wise as well, it makes me really think about beauty standards and what we deem as beautiful and what we deem as not so beautiful. I used to do a lot of bodybuilding, so really focused on how I look, always looking at myself in the mirror, checking my body, see if I'm getting bigger, leaner, things like that. I say leaner, but to be fair, I always used to bulk. Like I never really cut that much, so I was on the not fatter side, but like not so lean necessarily. And I used to do bodybuilding for a while, like for 9 years maybe. And like not all of that time spent was me doing it very seriously. Like I was started when I was 15, so it was on and off kind of thing. Like I wasn't super serious, but when I was 21, I started to do it seriously. Not competing and stuff, but like taking it seriously, like eating right, tracking my calories, macros, everything. Working out really hard, and my body transformed. But my mental health deteriorated a little bit after a while, even though I really enjoy training and I still train quite hard. But I do something differently now. I do something called powerlifting. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's different. So I just focus mainly on my strength as opposed to my body. And the reason why I'm mentioning this story is I want to just like explore the idea of beauty standards and how it can be quite problematic sometimes and quite obsessive, I would say. I remember I was at the gym in my final year of med school. I was at the gym at 4 a.m., I think. And I hadn't slept, by the way. It wasn't like, oh, I woke up early. No, I hadn't slept. And I had a cup of coffee before the gym. And like, it only had maybe 1,000 calories before that workout. And there was no one at the gym. It was just me. And I was training and feeling so weak and tired because I was cutting. I was trying to become lean. And it was the worst workout ever. And I remember I was like listening to videos on YouTube. I was trying not to listen to music as much, but like podcasts and things like that, because I wanted to like learn something while I'm like resting between sets and stuff, as opposed to like just listening to constant music. It was getting a bit annoying, to be honest. So I came across this video where the guy was talking about male beauty standards. It was a really nice, well made video on YouTube. If you guys want to know the videos, I'll try to find it and link it down in the description or something. So it was a really well made video. It was like a documentary kind of thing. And he was talking about how guys were, I don't know, like back in the maybe 60s or something, like the jacked people were not so jacked today. Like people would be like, oh, they're so big and things like that, like back in the day. And today they'd be like just a normal guy, which is crazy. And I was there already. Like my body was possibly like better than theirs, but I just couldn't see it. And I was obsessed. And I looked at myself. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like you're at the gym at this time. This is not healthy. Like I thought you wanted to go to the gym to become healthy. This is not healthy at all. Like what you're doing is just not like you should stop. And I remember at that time, I just like during that moment, I just told myself like, listen, I'm gonna stop bodybuilding. I love the gym. I love training. So I said I was gonna do it differently. And then I came across powerlifting and then started powerlifting, and I'm loving it. Powerlifting is so much better. That obsession with looks just completely evaporated. I don't really care now, as long as I'm like functional and strong and having fun at the gym. So apologies for the super long introduction, but I'm gonna talk about female beauty standards in this video because it's easier, I think, in the way that I thought about it. Because male beauty standards is sort of like new to me, but female beauty standards is kind of like well known. It's been going on for a while. So I don't need to like prep for it as much, I would say. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like thinking about it, the amount of insecurities that some women can have and the amount of work they put into themselves to look better, whether that's natural or not natural, is is interesting. Like it's kind of sad to see that happening. I'm not trying to like be judgmental here. All I'm saying is I find it sad that a lot of women out there are trying their best to look like really pretty and things like that when in fact they're just good enough without anything. Like for example, you see like tan girls try to look paler, and like pale girls try to get tan all the time, and then I don't know if someone's like blonde, they wanna have their hair dark or black or vice versa, and just or like just in general, just like makeup things like that, just like buying endless products, and you never feel good enough, and then I don't know, things can progress sometimes when the security is bad and can be lead to like plastic surgery and like literally I don't know, breaking your jaw and like your nose, even though like I don't want to sound dismissive by saying like oh it was fine before that, but because some people really struggle and it's like a lot of insecurity, but I'm just trying to say that everyone's beautiful, and I mean it. I don't say this like as in like oh the ugly person I just like I don't know completely forget about. I'm just looking at the beautiful people and being like everyone's beautiful. No, like I genuinely mean it. And even those little insecurities that you might have, like I don't know, like cellulite for example, that's normal, like genuinely. And I don't know, like I keep thinking about the nose, like nose not being straight, and a lot of people getting like nose jobs and things like that. Like I don't know, like my nose isn't straight. I don't care. Like kind of rambling right now, but what I'm trying to say is it's crazy what like social media and things like that can do by pushing these beauty standards. Like you have to be thin and I don't know, like slender, like super slim or like super thin fingers and legs and whatever. Like it's just it has led to an insane number of eating disorders, which is crazy. And I've seen women in real life with eating disorders because I'm a doctor, so I've worked in clinics and things like that. And it's just saddens me because the person with an eating disorder, or the woman, let's say, because this video is for women, um, the woman with eating disorder, like she looks at herself and she thinks she's fat when she is not by any means. And obviously, it's something that it's not objective as such. Like the way you look at yourself, it can be really distorted and messed up, and all of that because of the insecurity that I think social media and just like movies, things like that, can put into you when you can just exist as a normal woman and you be normal. But yeah, eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, binging disorder, a lot of stuff. And yeah, the consequences on mental health can be really bad. And this channel is about mental health, so I like to talk about anything that has to do with mental health. And in my opinion, it's insane how the beauty standards are. And for example, like you see this happening quite frequently and commonly, where a woman gets called fat, like oh you're fat. Let's say like a girl growing up with her parents and be like called, her parents would call her fat, or like oh you need to lose weight, you're fat, you're like look at this whatever pudge whatever. Like what? That's not acceptable. That is not acceptable because you can't make comments on a person's body like that. That's something private. I wouldn't necessarily like someone coming up to me and telling me like, oh, you're, I don't know, you're ugly or you're fat or you're skinny or you're short or you're whatever. Like, that's none of your business. And in the same way, like, if a girl is fat, let's say like objectively, and I say the word fat, by the way, even though I know like sort of it's not the kindest word to say, but I say it just because it is okay to be fat. And I'm not promoting obesity because obviously obesity can come with a lot of health issues. And aside from the health issues, you might not want to look obese, period. That's fine, you don't have to. But I use the word fat just because it's nothing to be ashamed of. If you want to change that, that's good. And but it's not shameful, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, these unsolicited comments on a person's body, especially at a young age, are really detrimental and just straight up uncalled for. And the problem is, girls, I think, who get that sort of treatment and comments aren't even fat, which is ridiculous. Which goes to show, I think, the amount of brainwashing that is happening in society in terms of the way women should look like. Oh, you have to be a slender Barbie doll or something. Like, no, you're human. You're human. You can eat, you can do whatever you want. And as long as you're trying to improve yourself, better yourself in a healthy way, in an encouraging way, not in a toxic way where you're like, oh, you look ugly, go do something about your looks. Yeah, that's not it. Not it. And if you're trying to improve yourself, trying to look better, more beautiful, that's very understandable. Everyone wants to be better, look better, feel better about themselves. Very understandable. And commendable as well. If you work out, you try to eat well, you try to sleep well, you take care of yourself, that's a form of self love and it's nice. But the crazy pressure by society that you have to look this way, and if you're ugly, you're not desired, and things like that, like, oh, let's not even, I just thought of something, and it's honestly, it's so cringe, like these men on YouTube, they talk about like what what was it called, like sexual market value, something like crazy like that. that's that's so crazy, genuinely. Like, who in their right mind would say that? Just because you've literally reduced a human being, a woman, to, I don't know, an object. Like, you're saying that they have a value, like a numerical system that you rank them based on. No, genuinely, that's another level of crazy. I'm not talking about that. Actually, I want to talk about it, like, because it's just so crazy. I think these people. So I think men can promote these ridiculous beauty standards, and women can also promote these crazy beauty standards. Both can play into it. So men can be very harsh, I think, especially these people on social media, which is totally devoid of reality. Because in reality, like, I think most men are like that, but these people, these like vocal minority, I think they really, they say just completely absurd things like, you have to be, I don't know, this tall, this, you have to be, I don't know, this thin, this tall, this hair color, this whatever, skin shade, whatever it is. Like, I don't know too much because I don't think about these things, so I don't have anything to say because I don't think like that and I don't have these standards, if that makes sense. um but yeah, so I think men can promote that by, yeah, pushing these standards onto women, and then women can promote that as well by competing between each other and against each other. And then when, in things like movies, for example, or like ads and things like that, they pick the most beautiful woman and then they add a lot of makeup on her, and then maybe some editing as well, and Photoshop and whatnot. And I think as a woman, like seeing that, you're bound to feel bad about yourself. Like, what the hell? Like, you just can't escape that. Same with men, but I'm not talking about men in this video because I want to keep it focused on each gender. So you might feel like you can't compete with that, and that's a way I think women can promote that. So even though it's not healthy, but they still play into it. Like some models, for example, like I don't know, I don't want to name the brand, but I think you know what I'm talking about. They have those like super thin models, and it is somehow, I don't know, like universally recognized that this is the beauty standard. Like you have to be look like them and that thin. Like that's eating disorder. That's not normal. That's not normal. And I'm not trying to be dogmatic here, like, oh, you have to look a certain way or like judging others and things like that. No, like, all I'm saying is be you and be natural, be human. Like, for example, like, um, oh yeah, I just want to talk about this more and then I'll talk about something else. Even like in ads, like, I don't know, like everywhere, you just you just see the most attractive, perfect, whatever woman, and then you're like competing against that. If you see that all the time, you're gonna feel insecure about things that you're not supposed to be insecure about. If that makes sense, like you could be totally normal, and you see that, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm missing something." I think it was like me when I was when I was going to the gym. I looked fine, but I was like seeing these jacked steroid like roid heads on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely like small compared to them, and I need to do more, and I'm lacking. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy. Like the standards and the expectations are totally distorted. Like it has nothing to do with the reality. And yeah, I was gonna talk about pregnant women, as in like mothers, when they give birth, they feel really bad about themselves. Like, oh, because they become fat, and then they might have some like loose skin and all of that. It just takes a while to bounce back. And obviously, like being married, and then her husband is like going out in the world and seeing sort of like younger, fitter, whatever girls, and it's kind of hard. Like it's not easy, and it really takes a toll on you. And I'm not talking as if I know everything because I'm not a woman, but like this is what I heard from people. And then you are competing against that beauty standard. It's just ridiculous. The amount of just pressure that you have on you is just absolutely crazy. This pressure to look the best and be perfect and have like literally no flaw based on I don't know what standard, and to basically see yourself as an object. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're being taught to see yourself as an object, which is crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And the consequences of trying to look more beautiful. And this is a very slippery slope because a lot of women try to be more beautiful. They do things, they change the way they were created, and then they look not so beautiful. Just because it is very, it's just body dysmorphia kind of thing. Like it's very subjective. Like I look at myself in the mirror, for example, like, oh, I want to fix my, I don't know, nose, eyes, whatever, mouth. At the end of the, like, after all of that, I'm gonna look like a disfigured human being. Like I'm not gonna look normal because the way God created me is this, and it looks okay as it is. Obviously, there are in some extreme cases you can have like really bad things that might need some interventional like sort of support. But I'm talking in general. just these like extras. And let's say makeup, for example. I was reading a paper, a very recent paper, um, on the sort of downside of beauty, or like the dark side of beauty. And I have the abstract here on my laptop and I read it. So, this paper is from 2024. This channel is not like about like papers and research, things like that, even though I come from a medical background and psychological background as well, but I don't like that. I just want to talk just freely without any like sort of referencing studies and things like that. So the title is The Dark Side of Beauty, an in-depth analysis of the health hazards and toxicological impact of synthetic cosmetics and personal care products. So it reads, over the past 3 decades, the popularity of cosmetic and personal care products has skyrocketed, largely driven by social media influence and the propagation of unrealistic beauty standards. This is why I'm talking about this, because it's just sad. It's unrealistic beauty standards. Unrealistic. So, not real. Unrealistic beauty standards, especially among younger demographics, because you see older women become like more confident, and they don't necessarily fall into these traps of like these predators that seek on your artificial insecurity. They plant the insecurity in you, they tell you that you're not good enough, and then they sell you products. It's just crazy. So these products, promising enhanced appearance and self-esteem, have become integral to contemporary society. However, users of synthetic, chemical-based cosmetics are exposed to significantly higher risks than those opting for natural alternatives. The use of synthetic products has been associated with a variety of chronic diseases, including cancer, respiratory conditions, neurological disorders, and endocrine disruption. Okay, so yeah, I read a book called Estrogeneration, I think it was called, um, which was really interesting. And the guy mentioned, he's a scientist sort of guy, and he talked about how all like most of the makeup products have estrogenics, and estrogenics are, let's say, substances that act like estrogen in your body. So let's say you're a woman and you have estrogen in your body, just natural estrogen. These things that you apply act like estrogen. They're not estrogen. They don't have estrogen, but the chemicals act like estrogen in your body. So your body thinks they're estrogen. They're called estrogenics, or estrogenics, however you want to pronounce it. And that can cause a lot of problems. Just because you're meant to have a natural level of estrogen in your body, if it goes too high, it can cause problems. Like for example, it can cause clots, because estrogen is known to form clots in the body. It can cause stroke, for example. I remember a patient, I think 27-year-old girl who was married, I think, and she was on oral contraceptive pills. And she presented to the hospital with a PE, which is a pulmonary embolus. And the reason why she got that, oh, let me explain what that is, sorry. Um, Basically, a clot that goes to the lung and blocks the lung, so you can't breathe and you can die from it. It's really serious. And she went into a coma. It was a really bad case. Like that's like quite rare. Like it's not typical. But if you read in the oral contraceptive pills, like sort of the risks is written there. I think it's called like VTE. I forgot what it stands for. Like venothromboembolism, something like that. But the point is that happens because the oral contraceptive pills have estrogen. And estrogen, too much estrogen, can cause blood clotting and stroke. And this is considered like a stroke in the lung. You can have a stroke in your brain, a stroke in your heart, and a stroke in your lung as well. You can have a stroke in your legs, like uh, deep vein thrombosis, so DVT. Sorry, there's a lot of medical jargon here, but and I'm quite rusty because I'm studying a master's course in clinical psychology right now, so I kind of forgot about medicine. But yeah, the point is, these products can have a lot of side effects, so cancer as well, a lot of stuff. And why are they being used? To enhance, as the paper says, to enhance beauty and to raise self-esteem, and you feel better about yourself. But I want to like ask you a question, and this is something I think about as well. If you want to look beautiful, you apply makeup, and then what are you without makeup? I think about this genuinely because I think this sort of sends a message, that a subconscious message, like a hidden message, where like I'm only beautiful with makeup. So without makeup, I'm okay. Like might not be ugly, but like I'm okay. I'm not nothing, but not anything interesting. But like with makeup, oh, I'm like you feel better about yourself and your self-esteem rate rises. And I think that's like a little bit problematic because if I need something to put something on me to feel good about myself, then I don't know. If that thing isn't there, then what's gonna happen? Does that mean I'm not beautiful without it? I don't know. This is just an interesting question. I don't know. I don't have an answer to it, but yeah, I'm just thinking about it. And again, I don't mean to be judgmental here, genuinely. Like I'm not judging anyone, and wanting to be beautiful is normal. Is normal, especially for women. Like it's women like to be look beautiful and be beautiful, which is normal. Um, but when it gets crazy and unrealistic by these unrealistic beauty standards and social media and things like that, just the consequences are severe, man. Like, and you see a lot of like objectively beautiful women, like just a beautiful woman that says like she feels ugly and things like that. And she's not lying, because a lot of people would think that, oh, like she's just, I don't know, fishing for attention or things like that, because oh, she's obviously beautiful, like why would you say that? But no, because these girls are genuinely, they genuinely believe that they're ugly. Yeah. So it is something that you feel, it's not very objective as such. And I don't know. I think someone told me like back in like ancient Iran or something, like women used to be like fat, as in like you would be really overweight, and that was the preference at that time. And I'm not saying it's not okay. All I'm saying is it's interesting just because compare that to now. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fat shaming. Even though like I'm a guy who really takes care of himself in terms of like body and working out, things like that, and I track my calories, I try to eat well, but I think there is such a thing as fat shaming. Like, I'm not like, because you can easily be judgmental, like when you're working out, like, oh, like these fat people, they just don't train and they don't care of themselves. Like, they deserve it. If you wanted to lose weight, you could lose weight. You could just like, I don't know, dial in your diet and work out, and then you can lose weight. Yes, that's true. But if you want to help someone, you don't kick them while they're down. You support them, you encourage them. And I'm not saying that the overweight person is like bad. So I'm just like trying to be nice and not tell them that they don't look nice. No, no. All I'm saying is this person, or this woman in this case, in this video, wants to look good. And she wants to feel better about herself, and she wants to feel pretty. Um, excuse me, and things like that. And you, as a person bashing them, you want the same thing. Like you're telling them, oh, you could lose weight, things like that. But you're not. It's not coming from a place of support and love and actually wanting to help someone. It's just coming from being judgmental and critical and looking down on people. And I think this is a bit of a digression here, but these people that look down on others, they're hypercritical of themselves. That's how they speak to themselves. If they were to get fat or ugly or whatever, they would tear tear themselves down, just destroy themselves, because that's how they see the world. The best way, I know I'm talking about like sort of being overweight now, as opposed to makeup and plastic surgery and things like that. Even though you're enough, you're good enough. Like you're good enough, genuinely. I mean it. And I'm gonna go back to the overweight point, but I'm gonna talk about a little bit more because now it just came to me. I want to talk a little bit more about the sort of pornographic brain, because a lot of men these days they watch whether it's soft or hardcore um, pornography. Um, they see a lot of things, whether on their like Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, TikTok, or whether on something like more extreme. But I respect you enough not to bring that up. Um, their view of women gets very distorted, and then they use that against all women. So they look at some fabricated reality, and then they go out into the real world, and then they see someone and be like, yeah, you're ugly, or like you're not this, you're not that, you don't have that, you don't, I don't know, I don't want to be descriptive because I think that's not respectful, but you know what I mean. Like, she's lacking basically when she's not. When she's not, that's how God created her. And then that, over time, especially if that happens when you're young, in school, things like that, it can really take a toll on you. It can make you feel like you're sort of an object. And again, I don't want to be like bashing men only, just because men are viewing these things, but the people performing these things are also men and women. That's how some women promote these things as well and harm their fellow women. So both are bad. Both are not helping at all. The people viewing it, the people doing it. Both do not care for your well being and mental health and self respect. So I'm going to go back to uh, the point of being overweight. I genuinely respect anyone who comes to the gym, period. I don't care if you're fat, skinny, beginner, advanced, first day in the gym, 1 trillion day in the gym, I don't care. If you come to the gym, I respect you. And if you don't come to the gym, I don't respect you. That's the difference. You can do something else. You can go running, walking, playing tennis. I'm not playing table tennis. Do whatever you want. As long as you're trying to be healthy, trying to improve yourself, I respect you. And you should respect yourself and love yourself for that as well. So if I see someone overweight or like an overweight woman at the gym, I think that's amazing. Like, I don't think, oh, look at that loser over there. Like, I try not to look in the first place because I'm not meant to. I'm Muslim, so I don't like look at women. But, but yeah, if I somehow see that, I don't think, oh, like, what a loser. Like, oh, she's ugly. Like, no, no, that's a human being who's putting in the work, trying to be better, trying to improve. Respect, respect. And a very important point about change. This is another digression, but again, I'm doing these videos for fun. and just to help people and just like think about these things out loud. Um, to change something you don't like about yourself, you can do it in two ways. Let's say you're overweight, fat. And being fat is not shameful. Being fat is okay. Whatever it is, you ate too much, you were stressed, whatever it is, genetics, you became fat. So what? So what? You're a human being. You're a human being. That happened. You can change it whatever you want. It's that simple. It's not shameful. It's not shameful. Okay, so you can change that in two ways. You can either say to yourself, I'm fat and I'm ugly and I hate myself, so I'm gonna go to the gym or like work out or go on, like on runs or like fix my diet to change that because I don't like myself right now. And I'm gonna be happy when I look like a certain model or something, like, I don't know, skinny, whatever it is, I don't know. That's a very slippery slope and it's very toxic. Why? Because listen, you can be fat and love yourself. That's better than being thin and not loving yourself. And when I say loving yourself as a fat person, like I don't mean like being delusional in the sense like in the sense that, oh, like I'm very much obese, but like I like that, I love that. If that's true, then that's up to you. But all I'm saying is love yourself as in like you don't hate yourself because you made a few wrong decisions. Does that make sense? Like I don't know if I'm making sense here, but love yourself as in like, okay, I am not where I want to be right now, but I don't have to hate myself for it. Things happened and I'm here. How can I change? How can I be better for myself and improve myself? It has nothing to do with that negative, and I hate this so much, that negative motivation. Like, you see people, like, I think there is a joke on the internet where there's a guy who kept telling his best friend, like, you're fat every single day till that guy lost weight. That's not the way. That's very bad. That's very bad. Because you can be the skinniest or thinnest girl on earth and still think you're ugly. It has nothing to do with how you actually look. So the other way is you go to the gym. I'm using the gym as an example here. It doesn't have to be the gym, it can be anything, any sort of physical activity. You go to the gym. I'm fat right now, let's say. I'm going to use myself as an example so I don't offend anyone. Let's say I'm fat right now. And I want to change that. I don't want to look better. I want to look more beautiful. My motivation can sound like, you know what, Faisal, like right now, you're a bit overweight. It's okay. You're eating too much, you're not exercising enough, you're depressed, it's okay. Whatever it is, it's okay, man. You got here, that's fine. I don't hate you. I don't think you're ugly, but I want to change this. I want to change this about myself, but I don't hate you for it. We got here. It is what it is. We'll change it. And I'll go to the gym to improve, not to replace myself. That's a huge difference. And when you say, like, I want to go to the gym because I hate being fat and ugly and whatever, it's like you're saying you don't like, it's like you're saying you don't love yourself, which is a no no. Like, you can't say that. You can't say that. So, because you only have you. If you hate yourself, excuse me, if you hate yourself, then you got nothing. You got nothing. So, I personally did this. I was skinny as a kid, and I wanted to change that. I wanted to look better. So, I went to the gym as a 15, 16-year-old, I think 15. And I told myself, we're improving. We're going to feel better, be stronger, look better. but I never said I want to change myself. I hate this current version of myself, and I hate being skinny, and I didn't entertain that thought. It was positive from the beginning. I was having fun from day one till today. It wasn't like I was waiting for something. I was having fun from day one. Because the moment let's say I'm fat right now, I go to the gym, that's already success from day one. From day one, you're already a new person. I hope I'm making sense here. You're not going to wait till you look a certain way to enjoy yourself and then be confident or feel like you're good enough. No, you're good enough just because you respected yourself enough to do something about it. That's enough. That's commendable. You don't have to look it just yet. As long as you're working towards it, you're good enough from day one. Yeah, I think this video is quite rambling here, and it's really unstructured. But if it helps, it helps. I hope it does. So I'm gonna try and do a little recap. So, beauty standards, female beauty standards, are ridiculous. They're genuinely ridiculous and out of this world, and they have no resemblance to reality whatsoever. How did they come about? I think it's social media, movies, ads, um, yeah, pornography, all games, anime, anything that portrays the woman as something a certain way, perfectionism, like have to look all a certain way. It's just very unhealthy. And then the things that so that's this insecurity that's planted in you. You weren't created to feel insecure about that. You were taught to feel insecure about that. And then you try to find a solution. And I think the moment you try to find a solution, which is, I don't know, using cosmetics, plastic surgery, things like that, you confirm to yourself that you are in fact ugly without these things. And I think that's the most destructive thing. It doesn't matter if you're actually less attractive or whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing that matters is what you tell yourself. And you can tell yourself a lot of things physically, not verbally. If you get plastic surgery, you're telling yourself non-verbally that you were ugly before. And that's the worst thing you can do to yourself. As in, like, letting the world decide your worth and letting you feel insecure about yourself. No. No, even if the whole world thinks I'm ugly, it doesn't matter. As long as I like myself and respect myself and value myself. What they think doesn't matter. And some people or some women might say that I do it for me because I want to look more beautiful. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Trying to be more beautiful. Even makeup as well, not fully against it or anything like that, but my point is, my point is the insecurity that comes with it. Yeah, and then the consequences of things like makeup, plastic surgery, um, excessive dieting. I see this a lot with women, whether in clinics or hospitals or in real life, like family, friends, things like that. Yeah, it's just destructive behavior. Trying to feel good enough by yourself when you are good enough. And you were good enough from day one. Yeah, I just find it very sad, honestly. I don't know what to say, to be honest. It's just Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And I haven't talked about the differences in like ethnicities and stuff because a lot of people, for example, I'll give you an example, like ginger people. There's this like thing that because I'm not white and like I've only been living here in the UK for like 7 years, so back home we don't like really have like ginger people. So I learned that oh like gingers are supposed to be like ugly or something, like guys and girls both like it's an ugly hair color, but for me, I thought it was like normal, like just another hair color. Like there's nothing ugly about it. And I saw like a post on YouTube yesterday or today, I can't remember. Someone said like, "Oh, if God hates you so much that He would make you ginger." Like I was like, what are these people talking about? So that ginger person or woman in this video might feel insecure. Who taught her that? I don't know, society. Same thing with like really, um, let's say black women with like afro, like or very curly hair. That's a beauty standard. That's an African beauty standard. If you don't agree with it, that's up to you. But that's that's how they were created, and that's beauty. Or like I don't know, the Asian, like East Asian women with like the super straight hair and things like that. That's how they were born. That's the beauty. That's everyone has their own beauty standard. Like you can't generalize. You can't be like, oh, this is what's beautiful and everything else is not beautiful. It's just ridiculous. And I think in the Asian culture, being pale is very much like wanted, and a lot of women would do anything to look pale. And then you go to Europe, for example, and then women want to be more tanned. Like, what is going on here? Like, no one wants to be what they are. Everyone wants to be what they're not. Um, I don't know. I think everyone's beautiful as they are. Like you were born enough, and then society told you that you're not, and then you go down the slippery slope of insecurities and trying to fix these insecurities and feeling bad about yourself, and all of that. Even if you don't necessarily feel bad about yourself, there's still a little bit of thing like lingering from this insane brainwashing and ridiculous beauty standard like beauty standards. The reason why I'm talking about this is I care about mental health and I care about your mental health, my mental health, the mental health of every single person. And I think one of the most destructive things in the world is these beauty standards. Because if you don't like what you look like in the mirror, then what is good at living? I don't, I don't mean this sound very depressing, but like if I don't like myself in the mirror, then what? Like I remember hearing someone saying that they don't like to have mirrors, and I say someone, but it's a woman saying that she doesn't like having mirrors in her room because she doesn't want to see herself. I was like, that's heavy. That's really heavy. That's really heavy, man. I can't imagine living like that. Must be really hard. Yeah, I think from a very practical standpoint, if you want to be more beautiful, it's understandable. But always analyze why you're trying to be more beautiful. If there's there's an actual reason, a genuinely warranted cause, then it's understandable. Let's say you're, as I said, overweight. You want to lose weight, understandable. But if you analyze um, why you wanted to do that, and you find that you know what? Like, it's actually an insecurity that I got from somewhere, then don't do it. Because you don't want to feed that insecurity by answering it and trying to fix it and trying to prove to the insecurity that you're good enough. And it's just a battle that you don't want to fight. So yeah, I think trying to be beautiful is okay within reason, but sometimes it becomes a bit too much. Yeah, I think that's from a very practical standpoint. And from a spiritual standpoint, your worth is not based on what you look like. Period. I don't care if you're the most attractive woman or the least attractive woman. Your worth is completely separate from what you look like. This is a spiritual point. So we're not talking about physicality anymore. We're not talking about what you look like. We're talking about what you are and what you're worth. Your worth, your character, your values, your ambitions, your kindness, these nice traits, this is your worth. And society, unfortunately, teaches you that your worth is based on your looks. It's like the most beautiful, beautiful woman is the one that gets to be on the ad or gets to, like, I don't know, in a context that I don't participate in, but like in certain like clubs or things like that, they would be like the face of the club or things like that. Like, oh, we have like these attractive women. They think of them as objects. Genuinely, so ridiculous. Like when I think about it. Or for example, this is one I hate really bad. Like when managers like want or like owners want to hire women, they might hire the attractive woman, not the older woman with experience, just because the attractive woman would bring in more customers. I think that's I think that's extremely disgusting because you see her as a commodity, like you see her as an object, like yeah, like let's say I have a clinic, a private clinic, and okay, I'm gonna hire the most attractive women so I get more customers. Like, I don't care what you do. I don't care about your life. I don't care about your kindness. I don't care about your worth. I don't care about anything. You look good. Come, like, okay, you're gonna bring us customers. Yeah, just be pretty, act pretty, look pretty. Stay there, and then I'm gonna make some money out of you or off of you. What? How can these owners, whether men or women, treat women like that? How can women accept that? I don't understand. If someone treated me like this and they told me like, oh, I want you to be at a certain job or something because you look uh, nice, I would hate it. Just because, listen, I'm not looks. I'm Faisal and I have a personality and I have values and I have character and I have things I've worked on. I've studied a lot, I've worked a lot, I've done so much. You reduce me to this? I don't care about this. I don't care. Yeah. So I think that's very common with women. They're only seen as what they look like. And that's yeah. That was a wild digression, but spirituality, you are worthy not based on your looks, based on what you are. And if you're a God-fearing woman, you have values, you're modest, things like that. These add to your value way more than anything could. Whether that's beauty, whatever, doesn't matter. These things matter more. These things matter more. And in the context of marriage, for example, if even if you're a beautiful woman, if you don't have worth and you don't have character and things like that, your husband is will find a more beautiful woman eventually. But what keeps him there is not your looks. What keeps him there is obviously him being God fearing, so that's obviously on him. And then you, in terms of your character and values and things like that. Because a lot of women think being beautiful is that's it. If I'm beautiful, I have everything. That's it. No, it doesn't mean that much because it's um, very limited in time. And then what stays is your character. So you are worth more than your looks. Yeah. And in God's eyes, your worth has nothing to do with what you look like. Absolutely nothing. Whether a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. God doesn't look at your physical structure, what you look like. He looks at your heart. He looks at your deeds and what you do and how you carry yourself. If you're honest, if you're um, hardworking, if you're kind, if you're merciful, if you're loyal, all of these things. These values are what matter. Looks fade, and there's always a more attractive woman. So, what's the point being in a race that you can never win? So, yeah, I feel like I could keep talking about this forever. I think this video is quite long, and I feel like it's been the longest video so far. I just want to read my notes to know if I missed anything. Okay. Yeah, I just want to conclude with saying that you do not need to be attractive. You just need to be you. Right. Thanks for watching. I hope that was a helpful video and was a fun video as well. I know like I was rambling and it was all over the place and I was digressing a lot, but it's a nice topic to talk about, and it's something that needs to have awareness raised about it. And yeah, it doesn't seem like it's improving, but from like with my humble contribution to this on my humble YouTube channel, yeah, I just wanted to say that your worth is not linked to what you look like, and everyone's beautiful. And if you feel like you're less beautiful in terms of your looks, then I'm sure um, you can work on it, or you can work on your heart and your soul and things like that. It's not a cope. This is actually what matters. Um, Beauty is in the soul. It's not in the looks. As long as you're clean, you're showering, you're taking care of yourself, that's good enough. And then being a nice person, that's all you need. Just don't join that race that can never win and that will leave you with crippling self-esteem issues and confidence issues. All right, that's me. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I wish you the best.